Hi guys, Innocent from Drillabyte with another Python tutorial, and in this video we would be looking at one of the questions you sent over and the solution to the question. Now, if you have a better solution to this question, please do well to drop it in the comment section, and at the end of this video I'll also drop a hint to another method in which you can solve this same problem. Okay, so let's get right into it. Now, the question is actually very simple, and I'm just going to open up my command prompt and I'll run two codes for you just to illustrate the question so you have a better understanding. First, I'm going to cd into my desktop, which I have saved the question file. So the question, let me run the code which I was sent, or which one of you sent, Python, and I've saved this in a simple question.py file. Okay, now if I hit enter, the output of this code is actually 1 2 3 2 4 6 3 6 and 9. Okay, so the new code, you have to modify this code so the output is going to look like this: 1 2 3 in a matrix form, just like this. So that's the question. The output of the code is in a straight line like this. I want to modify this code so my output will look like this in a matrix form. Now let's first see exactly what this code is. So I'm just going to open the question file right in my code editor right here. So this is actually a Python function. You can see line 1, we're defining a Python function with the def keyword. The name of the function is modification table. It's going to accept two arguments, start and stop, and then we go into the function on line 2, and start is equal to range 1,4 as well as stop on line 3, and on line 4 to 6 we have two loops. So for x in start, which is range 1 to 4, you have to loop, and then you find another loop on line 5 for y in stop, and on line 6 we're simply printing x times y. So on each loop it's going to print the value of x times the value of y, and that is why you have the answer. So we have multiplication table, and then we have 1, 3. Okay, so we have multiplication table and the value is 1, 3, right? So let us see exactly what we have. So it's going to have start and it's going to have stop. Okay, so I'm just going to run, I'm just going to open a new terminal and come down here. Okay, go into my desktop as usual, and then I'll run this code. Okay, alright, so we have the same output from this code. Now what do we have to do to modify this code so it prints the way we want the value? Now I've already solved this in another file, but let me just show you the idea on how I solved this. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to have start from the very basics. Okay, let's just print x times y here and see what's going to happen. So I'm just going to print x times y, not p times y, guys. You have print x times y. Okay, so I'm printing x times y, nothing big. The same code, guys. I'm just going to print x times y over here, hit enter, and you can see what the output is when you print x times y. Just going to adjust my mic so I can have space. Alright, so you can see just output this. So is there a way we can actually save this output on a string, so we have a string to work with and then we have the values? We can now slice the string to the format we want it printed. Yes, there is, and let me show you exactly how you can do that. So I can create a new string here. Okay, so I'm just going to call that string results, right? And I can say result is going to be this empty string, right? And instead of printing the value, I'm just going to say, now let's save the value into result. So result plus equals, and then we need the value of x right, times y over here. So this value is going to be saved in result, which we are creating here. Now, because it's integer, we'll have error, so we have to convert this to string right here. Okay, so we can concatenate that easily. Now, if I save this and come down here and I print results, so let me just print results, right? I'm going to save that and come back here, clear this, okay, and I'll just run this code once again. Okay, so if I print results, you can see I've now arrived at the same spot where I was formerly before, and I have printed result, and you see what it's looking like right now. So instead of just printing this result, can we format this so it prints in a kind of matrix format just like we saw in the code? The answer is yes once again. And how do we do this? Now we already have this result here. Now the next thing we want to do is actually, let's see how we can now modify the code. So what I did, or my solution to this, was to actually use a for loop. Okay, so instead of printing the result, I'm going to create a for loop for z, right, in a range. Okay, and the range I want to check is the range of whatever you have in result string. Okay, so the range of, I'm going to call int on results, okay, or not int, rather the length. Okay, so length results, and then I will do something here. I'm going to add 1 to it, so length of result plus 1. Simply save this, and once I have done this, I can now check z. Okay, so whenever I divide z by 3 and I don't get any remainder, that means I'm on the 3rd or 6th or 9th position. Okay, so let me just code that so you see what I'm saying. So on here I'll say if z, and I will introduce this modulus. So if z modulus 3, right, double equals to 0, do something, so print something here. Okay, so what do you want to print here? If z modulus 3 is equal to 0, that means you are checking, and if you get to the 3rd number, of course, when you run through this for loop, if you get to the 3rd number, that's 3, and you divide 3 by 3, you're going to get 0. So what do you want to do? You want to slice the string so that it's going to print 1 to 3. And when you get to the next 6, okay, so the next 3 is going to be 3 plus 3, which is 6. You want to slice that again, and here slice that again, and so on and so forth. So we're going to print the string, right? We are going to print results, okay, and of course you know how to slice your string. You use this, right, and the string is expecting a beginning and end. Okay, so let's say it's going to end with z, okay, because each time it checks, you want it to end at that point. So I'm going to end that with z. But how does it know where to start? If it starts, if you want it to start at 0, that means you have to do let's do something like this. Let's say it's going to start at 0, okay, but if you start it at 0, when it's right here at 6, it's going to print 0 again as well. But you don't want that. What you want is to actually do z, right, minus 3. Okay, so you're going to print results, you're going to slice z minus 3, and you're going to stop at z. So if we save this, all things being equal, we should get exactly what we want, guys. So this is one method to actually solve this question. Another method to solve this question is to use string formatting, and that should be easier. If you do some research on string formatting, you should be able to just format your print statement from what it initially was and then print this string. And if you are able to solve that using string formatting, you can drop a comment in the comment section, and I'll be glad to help. If you have any question for the channel, you can easily follow our Instagram page at Drillabyte, okay, and ask your questions there, and I'll also be glad to send answers over here on the YouTube channel. So thank you for watching. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please ensure that you subscribe and give it a like button, hit the like button, make sure you turn on your notification, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Thank you for watching.